Alright, and welcome to Adding Rational Expressions. Now it says simplify the expression below. And let's actually start with a much simpler example. What if I said something like, let's do 5 over 6 plus 3 over, I don't know, 7. How is it that you add fractions? Well, you need a common denominator. So, the easiest way to do this is just to multiply these two things by each other. So what I say is, you know what, I have a 6 and a 7, so I'll multiply the 6 times 7. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Over here, what do I multiply the 7 by? Well, my other denominator is a 6. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And 7 times 5 is 35 over 7 times 6 is 42 plus 3 times 6 is 18 over 7 times 6 is 42. And at this point, because I have a common denominator, well, I can actually add these two things. Looks like 35 plus 18 must be something like, 53 over 42. So that's how you add fractions. You get common denominators. Well, what about whenever we start to add expressions in the mix? Well, it gets a little bit trickier. Okay, so let's kind of write out our initial problem. We have 2 over x plus 3 plus 5 over, and let me switch up colors here. Let's write x minus 4. Okay, so why did I do that? Well, we know for a fact that we do not have common denominators. These two things are distinctly different. So if I were to ask you, what should I multiply x plus 3 by so I can get to a common denominator? Well, I multiply x by x plus 3 by the other denominator. So my other denominator is x minus 4. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And remember the reason why. X minus 4 divided by x minus 4 is really like saying 1. Anything times 1, the value isn't changing. Okay? And then over here, in our original color of orange, to get this denominator the same as the other one, well, I multiply by my other denominator, x plus 3. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Okay. And once you master this, it's actually pretty straightforward. So over here, let's switch back to green. We want to distribute our 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8, all over. And we can actually just keep this as x minus 4 and our original x plus 3. Okay, plus. Over here, we distribute our 5 through this parentheses. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 3 is 15. And then over here on the bottom, well, we still have that x plus 3. And back to our original factor, we have that x minus 4. Well, notice, by definition, these two things have to be the same. Okay, so what's our final answer going to be? Well, we have 2x plus 5x, which must be 7x. We have negative 8 plus 15, which must be a positive 7, all over x minus 4 times x plus 3. Now, this is actually not the end of the problem. So what I want you to do is pause the video, finish taking your notes, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and erase this top here. So remember, pause the video if you need to finish taking notes. And so our answer is 7x plus 7 over x minus 4 times x plus 3. But we have to figure out, what can x not be? Well, in both of these cases, I'll take x minus 4 and set it equal to 0. I'll take x plus 3 and set that equal to 0 as well. And you'll notice, let's just go ahead and erase this bottom. You'll notice that when I add 4 to both sides, I get an x is equal to 4. When I subtract 3 from both sides, I get x is equal to negative 3. And we would say it like this, comma, x cannot equal 4, comma, negative 3. And there's your answer. Now, I think this is a relatively complicated topic, so I'm actually going to do one more problem with y'all. So pause the video, finish taking notes. Okay, for example 3, we have this. We have 7x over x squared minus 3x minus 18 over 4 over x squared minus 8 plus 12. Now this gets a little bit trickier. So what do we want to do? Well, we still want to factor, both of these, and in that way we can see what we are in fact missing. Okay, so let's kind of write it like this. Let's write 7x over, and I want to start by factoring, let's see, x squared minus 3x minus 18, I could write something like this. Two things that multiply to be negative 18 are going to be negative 6 and positive 3. So x minus 6 and x plus 3. Okay, plus, over here we put our 4. And just to show potentially differences here, we'll do that in a second. Okay, let's see here. We know we have an x squared, so I'll put an x and I'll put an x. And let's see, we're going to break down 12 so that the two things add up to be negative 8. And a positive 12 could be a negative 2 and a negative 6. Okay, let's check this out. I see that I have a negative 6 and a negative 6. So in the same color, I'm going to put x minus 6. However, this negative 2, I don't see a negative 2 right there. So we'll do x minus 2 in a different color. Okay, so it looks like, in fact, let me use a different color. It looks like this x plus 3 and that x minus 2 are in fact the things that are different. So what do? Well, we want to multiply each denominator by the one factor that it does not have. So we see an x minus 6 and x minus 6, those are the same, that's fine. But this x minus 2 is different, so I want to multiply this left side by x minus 2. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And in this, let's see here, in this blue color, we see that there's an x plus 3 here, but there's no x plus 3 on the right. So I do x plus 3. What I do to the bottom, I do to the top. And from here, we can start to simplify. Okay, let's see what you get. So, on the top here, let's just kind of unify it. We have 7x times x, so we have 7x squared. We have negative 2 times 7x, which would be negative 14x, all over, and it is a-okay to keep all of these factors separate. You do not have to put them back together. Plus, over here we have 4 times x, which is 4x, 4 times 3, which is 12, all over the same factors, x minus 6, x minus 2, and x plus 3. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to clean it up. I would encourage you to pause the video, finish taking your notes, and I would encourage you to even try and add these two things together without my help. See if you can. Okay, we got 7x squared and no other x squared, so we can write 7x squared. We've got negative 14x and 4x, which would be negative 10x. And this 12 has no other constants, so we can write plus 12. Down here we have x minus 2, x minus 6, and x plus 3. And the last thing we want to figure out is what can x not equal? Okay, well, just kind of taking this one step at a time, I think you guys probably understand this. What factors... Well, what values of x will make these factors equal to 0? We have x minus 2 is equal to 0. We add 2 to both sides, and x is equal to positive 2. So x cannot equal 2. Okay? We have x minus 6. We set x minus 6 equal to 0, plus 6, and x is equal to 6, comma 6. Okay? Our last one, we have x plus 3. We write x plus 3 equals 0, minus 3, and x cannot equal negative 3. And this is our final answer. I will give you one fair warning. You will have to use factoring by grouping or factoring with grouping on the fourth example. So if you need to rewatch the video on factoring by grouping, you can just search William Hastings factoring by grouping. Alright, I hope this helps, and I'll catch y'all in our next video.